Good evening and welcome to the channel. Before I lose light, I've got to get into the garden. So let's go into the garden and see what I'm going to get up to. This storage bin is where I keep all of my winter coverings. It's time for me to pull them out and finish winterizing. It's December and the temperatures are dipping down into the 30s. We have a couple of days this week where it's going to be in the low 30s, but the highs are going to be in the 60s and 70s. So I need to finish winterizing the garden. That includes the cattle panel. So if you'd like to see me finishing up some of the winterizing, stay tuned. I have a few pieces of wood and a couple of planks that I'll be pulling out of the shed. I'll be using those to secure the ends of the greenhouse plastics. That way, they're not blowing away when the wind is blowing. So let me get into the shed. For some reason today, my brain won't let me focus on one thing at a time. As I passed these beans, yellow wax beans, I felt the need to come back and harvest them. I have several wax beans in all of the greens pots, as well as some green beans in a pot over near the orchard area. And I feel the need to harvest them as I see them because we need to harvest as we go. And there have been a few things I have not been on top of when it comes to harvesting because it's been cold. But I won't go in the house without harvesting these beans. It's important. Is it just me, or does anyone else feel like there's something crawling on your face or you get an itchy nose when you're out harvesting things in the garden? Is it just me? I don't think it's just me. All of these beans are going to be used for seed for next year. I'm so excited about it. Now, let's get to the project at hand, and that's hanging up this greenhouse plastic on the inside of this cattle panel. Now, I will need to move all of these plants and shift them forward towards me in order to hang up this plastic. Now, for the life of me, I thought I bought some more clips, but I can't seem to find them. So I'm going to use what I have. They aren't all the best, but they are what I have. So it'll have to do. For the most part, this is going to be a silent hanging up of the greenhouse plastic. I'm running out of time and trying to beat the sun going down, so I have to hurry. When making videos, it takes a lot of time and effort to do all the things, all the setting up, all the talking, all the moving around, all the repositioning of the camera. And so I'm going to try to be a little bit silent. So I hope you like this video. If you have an extra pair of hands and you're putting up greenhouse plastic, it is very helpful if you can get someone to help. Unfortunately for me, I'm the only one here. So I have the hands I have, and I've got to do it by myself. If I can do it, you can do it. Now, this does take a bit of time. Not long, but it does take time, especially when you're doing this all by yourself. But again, if I can do it, so can you. This would have been a lot easier and gone a lot smoother if I would have moved my plants out of the way. But you and I both know I was never going to do that. So, the hard way it is. It's not that difficult, but it takes time to work around your plants. But it's not impossible. I'm making headway. I really am. I hope you can see it. I'm making headway. I've made it to the back half. We are almost done. Just hang in there with me. Now let me show you what I'm using. Pause the video if you need to, but if you can't, no worries. I'll put everything in the description box below so that you too, if you need greenhouse plastic, can get the exact same plastic I've been using for years. I love it. It works for me. Now, over time, the sun will make it brittle and it will deteriorate and get holes, but it does what it needs to do. It's a 6 mil. Now let me get this hung up so I can do it in the house. I'm cold. Can you hear how thick the plastic is? Doesn't it sound wonderful? I don't have my microphone on today. I do apologize. And I haven't been talking. I'm going to do a voiceover. You all have heard a voiceover by now. But I am inside the cattle panel and I am putting up the greenhouse plastic. I'm not quite done because I have to run this section behind the sweet potato vines. As you can see, the sweet potato vines are still growing. I haven't been able to move all of the wood chips because I need to pick these pots up and put the wood chips up under the pots. But I'm thinking because the wood chips are mounded around the pots, it will protect the tubers and the roots and everything, so I'm not going to worry about it. The reason why I'm doing this today is because I want to say on Wednesday and Thursday we have 38-degree weather, somewhere in the 30s, between 34 and 38, I'm not sure. And so I want to protect as much as I can. I have continued to winterize, but I want to protect my peppers. As you can see, this pepper has been touched by the cold. It doesn't like the cold. I need to give it some nitrogen. I need to pull off some of my peppers. I haven't been harvesting them as I need to. Holidays in life, holidays in life, holidays in life. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So right now I am just getting up this second half of the greenhouse plastic. As you can see, my peppers are still very much producing. I hope you guys can see this. The peppers are smaller, but they are still producing. I have lots of green peppers on here, lots of red peppers on here. Still have basil. Basil is going to seed. I am going to leave all of this in here over the winter. I'm not going to be cutting anything back, cutting anything down besides the basil. I hope you all can hear me. I do apologize. The only thing I'm going to be cutting back is the basil and the sweet potatoes. I'm going to attempt to harvest the sweet potatoes. I'm just trying to let this die. It's not dying. But in all fairness, it's not dying because today it's 70 degrees. It's 70 something degrees right now. And so, and the tubers and roots are protected by all the wood chips, and I'll show you that in just a second. That's why it's not dying. I do have some leaves that have succumbed to some pest damage, as you can see right here. I do have some leaves that are dying back, as you can see right here. But for the most part, it's very vigorous, so I'm leaving it alone. I didn't get hardly any sweet potatoes last year, so I'm hesitant to mess with them. I don't want to take them early. They've been in here, they should be ready, but they're just not dying back, so I don't want to fool with them. I'm going to give them just a little while longer because we're only having a couple days of maybe just a couple hours of really, really cold temps, like I said, 34 through 38. But outside of that, it's going to go back up. So I'm not willing to pull my sweet potatoes just yet. So I'm just not going to. So that's what I'm doing in the garden today. I'm just trying to winterize. I'm also going to get the greenhouse plastic for the back of the garden that's behind you guys, where I've got the pigeon pea and all my greens and all that good stuff. I'm going to drape some greenhouse plastic over that. It looks like I have one of my asparagus is dying back, so I'm going to cut those ferns down to probably about a foot. I'm going to let it mulch down in the pot. I am going to put some mulch in there. And since I'm in here and I've exposed a lot of what's going on in here, I am going to put some mulch that I created on top of these pots. I'm going to spread it as far as I can go. I've got my little teal bucket full of mulch. So as soon as I get this greenhouse plastic up a little more, then I am going to put the mulch down. I am losing light. The sun is going down, so I don't have a lot more time. But it's not going to be cold tomorrow. So this is just day one of preparation. And I just wanted to show you guys, this is what you have to do when you have a garden and you grow all year round and you're trying to protect and overwinter. This is one of the ways I do it. It does look like a lot of work. It can be. But for the most part, if this is what you want to do, grow your own food, there are steps to take that you have to do. And so this is one of those steps. And last year I put the greenhouse plastic on the outside and I fussed and fought and fretted with that plastic all year long. I had to buy 2 new sheets because it was ripped and torn. It was snatched off this cattle panel. I don't even know how many times. And I said, this year, your girl wasn't going to be going through that. So that's why I am threading it through the inside, trying to affix it to the best way I can to the cattle panel. There will be some draping, but what I'm also going to do is I do have some more fleece. I'll be putting that frost blanket over the top like I did last year. Almost everything in this cattle panel survived because I put fleece as well as the greenhouse plastic. I think the combination of the two is what saved everything in here, besides the fact that this has its own ecosystem. It stayed a lot warmer. I didn't heat in here. I didn't heat any of the greenhouses, and I was able to keep a lot of my plants. So I'm gonna get back to what I'm doing. I just wanted to give you guys a quick snippet of what I do at the end of the season, or the transition from fall to winter. This is what I do to keep my plants alive. I even have this pepper over here. They're flowers. They're still, let me show y'all. Hang on one second. All right, guys. As you can see, as I mentioned, the wood chips are mounded up around the pots. You can't even see these two pots over here because they're just covered up by all of the plant. But the wood chip is mounded up, so I think that's another reason why it's so healthy and alive. Besides, I'm feeding it that one as well. But look, my peppers are still flowering. They are not ready to give up the ghost yet, and I am not ready to let them give up the ghost. Now, I do have one pepper. I think it got knocked off of the irrigation, so I will be hand watering that before I go in the house. As you can see, I'm still creating liquid fertilizer. This right here is either a serrano or a jalapeno. I cannot I'm sorry, a Fresno or a jalapeno. I'm not sure. I have to look at the tag, but it has been not getting enough water, so I'm going to give it a really good drink of water before I go in the house. But everything is still alive. That one looks really sad, but it's not dead. The bananas are ridiculous, as you can see. They are both quite large. I had to take some of the leaves off the bottom because the leaves were dying, but I actually put some leeks in the pot as well. I am trying to do my best to companion plant all over the garden and grow. So let me get back to what I'm doing, you guys. I hope you all enjoy this quick video. And I do apologize that I had to do a voiceover, but I was trying to get it in, y'all. At this time of the year, you got to do what you can, move quickly and get it in. So thank you for joining me in the garden today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me that like button, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, think about subscribing to the channel. Leave me a comment, share the video, and I hope to see you either in my kitchen or my garden real soon. Now let me finish this up because I know y'all can see behind me the sun is going down. I don't have a lot of time, so until the next video, bye for now.